Oh, my head hurts. Hey, let go of my son. Hey, it's Dr. Disrespect. Welcome to The Forest. The Forest is a game which, believe it or not, revolves around the player surviving in a forest. If it was just about surviving in a forest though, we wouldn't be making this video. You see, there's something very evil hiding within the forest. That evil is called Jeffrey Epstein. Anyways, I need to go find my son. All the while surviving attacks from homeless people, while also exploring caves filled with whatever this is. So without further ado, this is why playing the forest was a massive mistake. After my pilot does a little trolling, I find myself crash-landed on an island, with nothing but forest around me for miles. Thankfully, I packed a survival guide. After stealing some people's luggage, I tap into my ARK player instincts and decide to look for a beach, assuming it's the safest place to set up camp. I don't even know if that's true. Please help me. Anyways, I decided to set up a little shelter on top of this hill. Then I built a fire. Then I may or may not have beaten this deer to death so I could eat it. While my current living situation was fine, I knew I deserved more. So I started construction on a slightly bigger house. After quickly building a little indoor fire, I now had a much nicer place to spend the night. I have tried to delete this section with the watchtower about 3 times now. Each time I do, something gets corrupted in the file, and everything kind of bugs out. After taking down another tree, I built possibly the single worst storage system I've ever seen in a game. You're allowed to put like 3 different items on the shelf, and you only get to put down like 4 of them per row. Also, it's really hard to put things in between 2 other items. After crafting myself I went to explore some containers I saw in the distance while on the watchtower. They were stuffed with circuit boards, which are used for precisely 1 crafting recipe in the entire game. There was also this paper. I don't understand it at all, but our character apparently does, because he decided to take it with him. Anyways, killing a turtle gave us a turtle shell, which was exactly what I needed to make a rain collector. The next thing I wanted was a boat, so I got to cutting down trees again. Exciting gameplay. We sleep, wake up, eat breakfast, and then we're off to explore the forest. The first thing I find is a campsite. It was abandoned, but there was a pot, which I stole. After getting back to the base, I built a fire pit, then got really mad at the game for not letting me fill the pot with salt water. After a bit of aimless walking around, I had my first encounter with the natives. They originally seemed more curious than anything, but one of them tried to jump me, so I had to kill both of them. This is what happens to those who oppose me. Anyways, the second turtle shell I left behind at the storage containers hadn't despawned, so I took it back home to make a second rain collector. I then discovered you could craft rope, which I then used to finish up the boat. I was also tired of living like a peasant, so I set down the plans for an even bigger log cabin. And the song is ending, so let's get a title card. Believe it or not, building an entire house takes quite a bit of wood. So I got to work effectively deforesting the entire side of this hill. Then I found some homeless guy's tent and immediately got back to cutting down trees. I spent actual hours cutting down trees in-game. Help me. Not only do I then walk into a fire, but I don't even realize I'm burning until I look down. Then we cut down more wood, and more wood, and more wood, and more wood, and more. As a break from the monotony of cutting down wood, I hop on my boat to visit a nearby island. Conveniently, that island had absolutely fucking nothing. After spending 2 days getting enough wood to put someone in a state of psychosis, our stupid house is finally complete. So I get to work decorating it in interesting ways.
The design is very human.
After quickly getting bored of my house, I decided to go out and explore.
What are you doing?
Then I decided to explore the forest, where I found a pond with tropical fish? Then I was vaguely threatened by a homeless woman. Eventually, I had walked all the way over to this hill, which was actually kind of chill, not gonna lie. We then acquired a picture and jumped onto the boat from the picture. Here we found out that Queso has gone missing. We also got some snacks, and we got a locked door. We also found this music tape. Well, it was fucking garbage. After turning off the in-game music though, I found the first cave of the run. And I was, slightly horrified. Going down into the cave is kind of unnerving. You can't look down to see the floor, and you're basically just left with this crappy lighter, listening. Eventually I reached the point where I could see something, but I couldn't make out what it was supposed to be. As soon as they started attacking me, I just ran off. I was absolutely not about to deal with that right now. And we're finally back in the sunlight. To make matters worse though, my temporary shelter just did that, leaving me in the middle of the night, in the darkness, extremely paranoid. Anyways, now that I had a quick save, I was no longer afraid of the cave. I made my way in and started beating these babies to death. If the cave only had freaky babies, it wouldn't even be that bad. Unfortunately, there was also this thing which might get me demonetized. Somehow, in the moment, I thought fighting it would be a good idea. I lost. And then I woke up tied by my feet, hanging from the ceiling. Thankfully, my kidnappers conveniently left my axe right near my head, allowing me to cut the rope and escape. After getting up though, I realized I maybe should find a way out of here. Also, the exit was right here. Before leaving, I decided to check what's at the end of this cave. As it turns out, there's another rope, allowing me to go even deeper. For now though, I simply exit back to the surface. Where the hell am I? While in the process of stealing some luggage, I get attacked by blue people? I don't know why they're blue, but what matters is that I am better than them in combat. Anyways, after looting the hobo camp, I started walking back home. In the process though, I found another camp, which had a large rock. This rock gave me a prompt to blow it up.
Yeah, birdie, birdie, birdie!
Inside there was some rope, but also a gun piece. In a rare stroke of genius for the Shubauer's channel, I decide to keep myself warm with a torch. The next morning, I return to my base with yet another pilfered shark head. After chopping up some logs, I built this large bonfire. It will soon disappear and never be heard of again. After proudly displaying my collection of alcohol and Xanax, I built a decently sized farm plot near my house. I literally only had a singular seed to plant in it. Anyways, I built another rain collector, and then spent some time making my bone club really fucking ugly. You're probably wondering why we're back in the boat. That's because my goofy forgot to save before exiting in the last clip, bringing us back to the previous save, on the boat. This time I just walked over to my base and slept there instead of waiting in the boat. Shortly after finding a cave entrance, I learned that the build menu does not in fact pause the game. Anyways, the rope led down to another rope. After shimmying our way down another couple 100 feet of rope, we got to another rope. And after making our way all the way down that rope, we finally got a bunch of goodies. We then open up this piece of wood and find ourselves in combat with a bunch of blue people. After making quick work of them, I started to explore the cave. This cave was actually pretty large. There was also this cannibal who really liked trolling me. Anyways, I shot that blue guy to death and then headed down another rope. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Almost immediately, we're met with a couple sets of rocks that we can blow up with dynamite.
Yeah, birdie, birdie, birdie.
After those rocks though, we seem to be in a sort of tunnel. Going down that tunnel though, led me to what seemed like a boss arena. I could tell he wasn't gonna die easily, so I started to craft Molotovs. Unfortunately, this thing seemed to have no cooldown on its running attack. Unfortunately, the boss's unpredictable attack pattern, combined with the fact I couldn't see anything, resulted in me ending up here again. Even stranger, all the loot from the cannibal camp seemed to have respawned. Anyways, I decided not to go back home, but instead to just explore a bit. While exploring, I found another cannibal camp, as well as some white tents. Not sure who owns these because they look completely different from anything I've seen. Eventually, I found myself at the edge of a snow biome. If I went there, I would probably freeze to death. So I decided against it for now. After beating some more blue dudes to death, I decided to go back down and explore the respawn cave. After beating some more hooligans to death, I find this big cave with an infinite source of cloth. Eventually, I travel so deep into the cave that I actually exit at the other side. Soon enough though, I just walk back into the cave. And of course, kill everyone I see. In the end, I found myself in a large, empty cave with a lot of water. Eventually though, I made my way back out of the cave. At this point, I was pretty tired of the forest's shenanigans, so I just decided to walk home. After saving my game, I quit. The recording just ends there? Seriously?